When it comes to Pipedrive, one of the most common questions I get asked is how do I set up my pipeline? And it's a really important question because it is the foundation of everything else that you do in Pipedrive. So today, in this video, I will show you how to set up a pipeline in Pipedrive, and I will also show you my preferred way of setting up pipelines, and hopefully it helps you. Let's get straight into it. So right here, you can see my pipeline in Pipedrive, right? So this is a very simple pipeline. And like I said earlier in the intro to this video, I have a unique way of doing this, and I have multiple pipelines, and I'll explain why in a little bit. First off, you have your pipeline here, right? Really simple. You can, of course, edit this pipeline by going and clicking on the little pencil icon here, and then that allows you to add a new stage, right? So you can add a new stage. So let's just add one here for the sake of it, closing, so you can see how that works. So simple as that, you just click the edit button, click save, and then you'll have, multiple columns in your pipeline. The other thing you can do as well is, of course, click edit, and then you can move these columns around as well. So if you want to change things, of course, it's warning you here. It may affect your statistics, it may affect automations that you have running, things like that. So just be cautious of moving things around. Why, as I mentioned, it's important to get this right from the start. You'll notice as well in that section here that you have probability. So you can say that once a contact, reaches a certain stage within your pipeline, the probability of them closing is 100%, 90%, whatever it is. And you also have these rotting sections, which is basically if nothing has happened with a deal for 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 14 days, whatever you put, that means that deal is starting to rot and something needs to happen on that deal. So these are some of the fundamental things to think about when you first set up your pipeline, right? What columns are you going to have? What's that journey from when someone first gets in touch with you to them actually buying the service, right? What are the core sections? My advice as well when it comes to setting up a sales pipeline is to not have too many columns, right? And this is why I have multiple pipelines. So this is my intro pipeline here, right? So when a new lead comes in, it lands here. We then, we've made contact with them. If we don't hear anything else, we chase them. Of course, if we still don't hear anything else, we'll follow up with them again, right? And then we'll either, archive that particular deal. This is why I have multiple pipelines. So I have a second pipeline, which you'll see here. And this is when the deals become more serious, right? So we own a publishing company. So you can see here, someone is then qualified, right? So we've qualified that deal. Then once we've received their manuscript, they'll move to the next column, quote sent, we've sent them a quote, we're then in discussion with them, call booked, and then we're closing the deal, right? And so the reason I like having two pipelines is if I was to have all of this, so these 4 columns, then I was in this pipeline and I had those 4 columns plus all of these columns. Even on a big screen, it starts to get really jumbled, it looks really messy. And it also means that in terms of your sales tasks, you can split them based on the pipeline that you're in. So, part one of our pipeline is very much new inquiries that have just got in touch with us. It's that first outreach, it's a different process than it is for the second part of the sales pipeline. This part of the sales pipeline, they're qualified, right? We're then okay. They've qualified as someone it looks very confident that they'll go forward. Now we need to, get some details from them. In our case, we collect their manuscript. We then send them a quote. Then there'll be some discussion around that. We'll normally book a closing call, and then we'll close the deal and they will pay. So that's why you split it, because when my time is in this other pipeline, it's very much focused on more serious deals and I'm just trying to get over the line rather than these kind of introductory calls. And as you grow a sales team, they can then have a different focus, right? You might have your junior people reaching out, qualifying people. They'll handle the more serious leads to the more senior salespeople. So that is an introduction to pipelines. As you can see, it's simple in terms of getting it set up, but really really the thinking is in the steps, in breaking down the steps. And so I would go through some sales deals that you have and really note down each time all the steps you're taking, and then come up with the columns so that it's nice and clear, nice and simple. So that is an introduction to pipelines in Pipedrive. Any other questions about Pipedrive or any of the other tools that I feature on this channel, please comment down below. It really helps in terms of the content to create more of these great videos. I do also have a video introduction to Pipedrive, so I'll link to that down below, and go check out some of the tools that I use each and every day. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Click like if you have, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.